Okay, good morning. So a new siman today, siman Reish Tzadi, very interesting siman. We're talking about Nash and Schluf on Shabbos afternoon, so all good things. Says the Mechaba, Sif Aleph, Yarbe beperes u'megadim u'minei reach. A person should try and increase or have as many fruit and sweet things and besomim and smells on Shabbos, kadei lahashlim minyan meh brachas, so that you can complete 100 brachas a day. V'imrogil b'sheinas tzarayim, and if a person generally is used to having a rest, a Schluf on Shabbos, during the week in the afternoon, don't stint when it comes to Shabbos, ki oinek ulay, because it's part of oinek Shabbos to have a rest on Shabbos afternoon. Says the Mishnah Berurah, b'peiros v'gam b'leil Shabbos kodesh, toiv sheyashlim bom meh ha-meh brachas. So Friday night is included, because there is debate on that. If you look in footnote 1, he says, when does it start? The cheshbon of 100, when does the clock start for your meh brachas? So some say from the brach of hamapil on Friday night, which means that all the things you do before then would not. But we paskin not. We paskin. Rav Shlomo Zalman says that the Sudan del Shabbos and Kiddush, all of these things, Mariv. Then Rav Shlomo Zalman says it's mistarf to the minyan meh brachas, and therefore, if you'll sit Friday night, you that big enough kamina. If you're including mariv, if you mariv and anything you eat afterwards, then that would count as part of your meh brachas. Okay, it says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Beis minyan meh brachas ki b'chol yom mevarich adam meh brachas. Every day a person should say 100 brachas. Uchadis leil b'siman mem vav Sif Gimel. There we looked at it in detail. Ayin shom b'Mishnah Berurah. Now on Shabbos, you're going to find a bit of a difficulty with this, because you're going to be short. The key difference is that during the regular weekday, you've got 3 Shemona Esras, which is going to be 3 times 19, which is going to be 57. It's going to pump you up to get to 100. Mashenkein on Shabbos, you've only each Shemona Esras only 7 brachas. And therefore you should try and in other ways be mashlim your 100 brachas. If you look at 4, he gives you some suggestions. So of course that's what the Mechaba is saying. Therefore if you have some fruit and some nash and some other things, then that can easily increase the numbers. In 4 he says, Oid eitz lekach sheyuchel hashim es minyan hameh brachas, after Shabbos kos v'shulchan aruch le'el, sheyechaven lishmeh es birchas ha-Torah v'ha-haftarah mipnei ha'olam la-Torah. So just have in mind when people get aliyahs that you're being yotza, the part of your meh brachas that can count. If you answer amen to those brachas, that could count towards your 100 bracha count. V'yane amen aleihen. V'yalu loy lahashlomas minyan hameh brachas. U'mashma afil lechatchila yochel aseskein. That works even lechatchila. Omnam Mishnah Berurah le'el, we wrote kosov sheyir lahashlemes minyan hameh brachas b'Shabbos b'achilas peres u'megadim v'im yoytz b'shas chag mashichav nishmez brachas ha-Torah v'haftarah v'yane amen aleihen. So it's unclear. There's different things in the Mishnah Berurah saying, is it lechatchila or b'diavad? B'diavad it certainly works. The implication in one place in the Mishnah Berurah is that you should be mashlim with peres and megadim and minei reach to get your 100 brachas, and only b'shas hatchak or b'diavad, if you can't get to the 100, then have in mind haftarah. But in other places it says even lechatchila you can do that. So there's no harm in having in mind when you hear the brachas of haftarah and the people being getting aliyahs, have in mind they should say amen and they should count for your 100. It's clear that it works even b'shas hatchak. Now, if you just look on the bottom paragraph of Yom Kippur, it's even harder, because on Yom Kippur you haven't got Birchas Hamazon, you haven't got any other eating. So what do you do then? So v'chos says Birchas Hanen and Lefnei v'achrein lahashlomas haminyan hameh brachas kosev le'el sheyashlim ezeh b'birchas hareach al besomim, and that's what v'chein yuchel lahashlim b'ashayotza. That also helps. So that's why in some shuls, in the Adas, David Golker always brings like a tray of 4 different types of besomim. Each one has a different bracha, atzei besomim, isvei besomim, minei b'tishoyim, whatever it is, and he brings different, and therefore you can make 4 different brachas on different smells, and then you come back an hour or 2 later, and you shouldn't do it too regular, otherwise it's b'shalin brachas, brachas shricha, but then you can be mashlim on Yom Kippur. On Yom Kippur. Okay, let's carry on. Now, with regard to a rest on Shabbos afternoon, the Ramah says, Al Yevat Lenu. you should have it on because ki oneg hula, because having a rest on Shabbos is an oneg. Says the Mishnah Berurah you've gotten gimel. Don't overdo it. It shouldn't be a very long Schluf. One of the boys told me in school, he says it's not a good Schluf unless he wakes up milchik. That's what he told me. That's his geder, right? What?
Depends on how many hours.
Exactly, yeah. He was not Dutch. He was not Dutch, yeah. So, exactly. So I think the Mishnah Berurah is talking to him, don't overdo it. Shalo at the end of the day, bittul Torah. Sha'afilu Talmidei Chachamim shalomdim kol hashavua. Talmidei Chachamim who are Torasa and Nasa, they're learning the whole week. Mitzvah shesangu b'yoseh. They should try and have more oneg on Shabbos than other people who are not working, who are not learning during the week, and therefore they should try and use Shabbos more to learn. Doesn't mean that Talmidei Chachamim are learning the whole week. On Shabbos they should close their svarim and just be misanig the whole of Shabbos. It's just that they should have a bit more oneg Shabbos than other people. Kasu hasfarim b'shem azoya shemitzvah alodom lechadish chidushay Torah b'Shabbos. A person should try and come up with new ideas on Shabbos, chidushay Torah. Umisha ina bar hochi lechadish. Someone who's not on that level to be mechadish new Torah ideas. Yilmed devarim she'lomad adhena. At least learn things which you have not yet learned. Whatever that may be, svarim that you haven't yet encountered, and that is considered as chidushay Torah. It's mechudash for you. If you look at number 7, he says very interesting. Regarding the importance of learning on Shabbos, Huva b'sefer Lev Eliyahu, sheshama me'achovitz Chaim, kiven sheshkula Shabbos connected kol haTorah kula. Chazal tell us that Shabbos is equivalent to the entire Torah. Lachein kol mitzvah she'osim b'Shabbos shavu l'taryag mitzvahs. Every mitzvah that you do on Shabbos is 613 times a regular mitzvah that you do during the week. U'lefi hagra she'kol ois shall divrei Torah yesh b'mitzvah. Every word, every letter of Torah is a mitzvah. Imkein kasheloimdim b'Shabbos kol ois shavu sheish me'os v'shleishes mitzvahs limud Torah. So you're multiplying it by 613. And therefore, v'imkein kashe'odem loimed b'Shabbos ein soif l'ribui ha'mitzvahs she'elim l'zchusei. Therefore, limud ha'Torah on Shabbos, it's immeasurable. Of Ben Ish Chai Kosev, b'shem ha'mekubalim she'limud Torah b'Shabbos goydel milimud Torah mechal 1,000 pa'amim. Not 613 times, but 1,000 times. So the schar of limud and the power of limud Torah on Shabbos is very potent. 613 or even 1,000 times more than it'd be during the week. And regarding being mechadish, next paragraph he says in footnote 7, of a milas on mechadish chidush Torah b'Shabbos kotzav eli rabba b'shem ashla sheb'motzei Shabbos oila haneshama yisera l'mayla. The neshama yisera goes back to Shamayim on motzei Shabbos v'she'el eisah HaKadosh Baruch Hu ma chidashta b'Torah b'Shabbos. What were you mechadish? Tell me something new. So again, if you can't come up with chidush Torah, that's very difficult. So then, at least to learn a seder of something which you don't normally learn, is new to you, a seder in Mishnah is Zroim, Taharas, or whatever it may be. Okay, ki oineg. So then the Ramah says that you shouldn't be mevatel a Schluf on Shabbos afternoon. The Mishnah Berurah said don't overdo it, but the Ramah says ki oineg hulai. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Aval lo yomar, and this is very important. Lo yomar neilech v'nishin kadesh yochel asas melachtein motzei Shabbos. When you go have a Schluf on Shabbos afternoon, it should be l'shem oineg Shabbos. But it shouldn't be that you've got to go out and you've got to do malach and you've got to work on Motzei Shabbos. You can't say I'm going to Schluf in order that I'm going to be able to do certain things on Motzei Shabbos. Shemar b'zeh shenoch v'yoshen b'shvil yimei sachol, because that's a problem of hachana, and therefore it's a problem. Now, if you look at number 9, he says v'loima b'Shabbos neilech v'lishen kadesh es a mitzvah Motzei Shabbos. What if you say I'm going to have a good Schluf because I'm going to do a mitzvah? For example, this year, if I'm not mistaken, Shavuos is on a Sunday, Monday. So therefore, for those darshanim on a Motzei Shabbos, your audience is more inclined to stay awake because they've had a good Schluf on Shabbos afternoon. Are you allowed to have a Schluf on Shabbos afternoon to say, I'm going to stay up late tonight to learn, certainly when it's Shavuos on that night? So he says here that Loma b'Shabbos in footnote 9, Relation Kadei She'es a mitzvah Motzei Shabbos, Kosev Torah Shabbos, Shemuta. Me'idach Orach HaShulchan Kosev She'afrem and Relation Kadei Shenuchel Limit Motzei Shabbos, Nechshev K'mechim Shabbos L'chol V'asa. So it's a machlikas. The Orach HaShulchan says better not. And the way to get around it is, you just go saying, I'm going to have a Schluf, because I like to have Einik Shabbos. I'm going to have a rest on Shabbos afternoon, therefore it's okay. Even if it's your intention to stay up on Motzei Shabbos, to do a mitzvah there, or to do anything, that would be okay. That would be all right. And it's very similar to, if you, Michael Briam, when you want to have a whiskey because you've got a sore throat, or you want to have chicken soup because you've got a bit of a cold or something, then you're allowed to. It's Michael Briam, but you can't say, I'm doing this in order that, because I've got a cold, therefore I'll have a whiskey because I've got a sore throat. You just lost your whiskey. That's so you can think it, but you can't say it. Same over here. Okay, let's carry on. If base. Achasud shachris koivim medrash likris benavim v'lidrash b'divrei Agada. After davening shachris on Shabbos morning, one should be koveh a time to learn, to read Novi, and to be derish in Agada. Also, and that is a time for learning, and therefore you shouldn't be koveh suda at that time. Says the Ramah, poyalim or balebatim she'ein oiskim b'Torah kol yimei hashavua. Those who are not able to learn as much during the week, they're busy working. Yasku yoyse b'Torah b'Shabbos mitamidei chachomim oiskim b'Torah kol yimei hashavua. They should try and focus more on limud HaTorah, more than Tamidei Chachomim who are learning the whole week. The Tamidei Chachomim yamshichu yoyse b'einig achila shtia k'tzas, and Tamidei Chachomim should be a bit more focused on enjoying having Einik Shabbos, achila v'shtia a little bit, taharihem misangim b'limudam kol yimei hashavua, because they're busy learning the whole week. But he uses a very nice expression. It doesn't say asukim, it says misangim. They're delighting. They've got their Einik. They've got Einik Shabbos on Shabbos. They've got their Einik of limud during the week. Okay, says in the Mishnah Berurah, Sif Cotton Hay, Koivim b'Medrash. The Issa b'Medrash, because the Medrash says, Omra Torah, Lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Torah came to the Rebbeinu Shalom and said, Rebbeinu Shalom, Kashei Konsul Yisrael La'aretz, after they come out of the Midbar and they go into Eretz Yisrael, Zeros l'Karmo, Zeros l'Sadeo, they're all busy working. Ani Matei Olai, what's going to be with me, Torah? Omalah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Torah, Yesh li zug sh'ani mezavig lach, for Shabbos, I'll pair you up with a partner called Shabbos, Shein B'Teilim B'Melachtam V'Yochayim Lasik Bach. And therefore, Shabbos and Torah are a good shidduch, and therefore you'll be able to learn more on Shabbos. V'Lidrash, V'Oika Yeh Oz L'Lamed L'Rabim Es Chukei Elokim V'Es Torah. So a person should be darshaning about the laws, the halachas, L'Hiris Hilchas Shabbos V'Isa V'Amuta V'Gam L'Hamshich Leiv Hashemim Ba'Agada, and also to talk Agadata, Hamadrich Mesa'odam L'Yerushalayim, which is going to inspire somebody for Yerushalayim. Uchudisa b'Yalkut's Reish Perish Pashas Vayakel, Amar Kodesh Baruch Hu L'Moshe Aseh Lecha Kilas Gedolos V'Drosh Tifnei B'Rabim Hilchas Shabbos L'Hiris L'Yisrael Issa V'Hetza V'Lo K'moshin Hagim Achshav. Right, many Darshanim will speak. I suppose it's inspiring and things like that, but because sometimes just to learn the basics of Issa and Hetza of Shabbos and things like that, that's also a good time. Now, during this time, which is allocated for learning, it's also to fix times for the Suda. There are three ways in which a person will lose his assets. That they fix their Yontif meal, their Shabbos meal, during the time of the public drasha. And because these are times when a person is not as preoccupied with work, and therefore he should be fixing times for limud HaTorah. They're busy with work. Therefore a person's got more time to learn on Shabbos. And therefore a person shouldn't fix his meal time at a time when they're learning, or you could be learning. Work around it, make your meal before or after that. And it's a teichacha for those people who they go for they're walking around and they're wasting time at the time of the drasha. If you can't be a Suda Shabbos, which is a very important thing, you can't fix that at the time of Limud HaTorah. The Kolshkin, the time of Habis, also, and how much more so, not being sort of going for a shpratzir, going for a tiyul, then one shouldn't do it. However, this is only, if you look at number 11, he says, there's nothing wrong with going for a walk on Shabbos, on the contrary. He says, the only criticism here is going for a walk when there is the drasha, when you should be learning. שמי שיש לו שמחה לטייל בשבס בפרדס וכדומה, נחשב כהליך לדבר מצווה. On the contrary, if going for a nice walk on Shabbos is part of your Einik Shabbos, it can be considered a דבר mitzvah. וכן כוסף לקמן. Okay, good. Okay, let's carry on. Suda ba'is hashah. So you shouldn't fix the Suda at the time of the public drasha. V'lechol b'li kviyas Suda k'mei shirogah b'mesa Shabbos nir shemuta. If you want to have a quick nash before you go to the drasha, that's okay. V'chanal b'simen reish mem tes if beis le'inyan erev Shabbos. Ein shom. V'hinei kiven she'atam she'osru chazal kviyas Suda osru mipnei she'izbat la'adei ze'metera. ממילא נשמע דמכל שכן, שצריך לזוהה שלא יגרם על ידי זה ביטל תלמוד תורה דרבים, כגון מה שמוצאו באבנסין הרבים, לאיזה אנשים שמזרזים אוהלים בשבס בקיץ, אף שהיים גודל, לספל על מנחה ולקיים הסעודה שלישית, וגורם שכל אנשי הבית המדרש יפסיקו מלימודם. You know, there's a busy learning program, and you want to have a very long Shalosh Shuddus or something like that. That seems to be wrong. וכבר אמרו חז"ל, you should be involved in the Loimde Beis HaMedrash and not in the Ma'amide Beis HaMedrash, which means be involved in the people who are Yoshev and not people who are Ma'amid, who tell people to stop learning. Of course, when it comes to Mincha time, you've got to make sure you leave enough time for Mincha and for Shalosh Shuddus. And again, also for the darshan, but the Baal Derish should make sure he stops in good time that the Olim can daven mincha and have Shalosh Shuddus. So what we've seen from this short and interesting simon is that a person should increase his foods, whether it's peiros or sweet things or besomim, to try and get the mehr brachas. And a person shouldn't be mevatlish Schluf on Shabbos. He shouldn't overdo it. That's part of Einik Shabbos. And he shouldn't schedule his Suda Shabbos at a time when there's learning, because the power and the importance of learning on Shabbos is paramount.